all Asian teams are quite strong. But you know, we are not the worst ourselves, and we won this event in 2011.
Well, we both had the World Championship just last week in Qatar. Gave us some good practice in preparation for this event.
He likes certain shots that I don't, and vice versa, so that we actually mix up quite well, and that's why I always like to play in this tournament.
I've had a good season. I won a straight pool tournament in the States and the US Open 10-ball championship, so I feel quite motivated, and it's always very comfortable to be on Ralph's side. So I can only speak for myself, and I feel pretty confident going into this.
One step at a time, and the first one is against Indonesia. That's very important.
So will the day of upsets continue here at York Hall? Let's find out the opening game. Germany against Indonesia. We can cross now to our commentators, Ted Lerner and Nick Halling.
Yes, thanks very much indeed, Ed. Germany, the overwhelming favourites here, the number 9 seeds, the former champions against Indonesia, but being a seed, as you've already heard, not necessarily good news, Ted. 2 have gone, and Korea, the seed that went through, only just staggered through 7-6, so Indonesia will think, we've got a chance here.
Oh, they certainly do, Nick, and race to 7, winner breaks. If Indonesia can get out of the box quickly, they definitely have a chance. But this is a formidable squad right here. Ralph Souquet and Torsten Homan. The CV of Ralph Souquet alone runs well off the paper, Nick. He has a 2-time world champion, won the World 9-ball championship, World 8-ball championship, 6-time World Pool Masters champion. I mean, you could just go on and on and on with his resume. And Torsten Homan, a 2-time World 9-ball champion.
7, first right. Germany to break.
Makes you wonder why they're seeded number 9, doesn't it?
Well, they didn't have a good year last year in this tournament, so it is based on performance.
Let's see if they perform. They've certainly got a good run of balls. A couple of balls have gone down a little meld there, the 9 and the pink 4, but let's see what Torsten Homan can make of this.
Well, Ralph, a good break, except the cue ball got away from him. And you want to look at that on the break shot. Players will hopefully keep the cue ball near the center of the table. And of course, if it was at the center, he would have had a much better shot on that 3 ball. But Torsten Homan with a long shot on the 3. And as you heard Torsten say in that interview, the Germans won this event 2011 in the Philippines. And when they get going, Nick, they are unstoppable.
It's freight train, isn't it? And that problem 4-9 meld there looks like it's going to be no problem at all here, because Homan has given Souquet every opportunity. And then there's that little 6 and 8 to be dealt with.
Well, the 4 and the next ball will be the orange 5. Down table.
Well, it broke up the meld, but that's not exactly what he wanted. He wanted that ball to travel up to the top of the table.
Torsten will be looking at a safety shot here.
Extension call.
1 extension per rack.
Extension call.
And that'll add another 30 seconds. Growing up, Torsten Homan, his hero, of course, in pool was the great Ralph Souquet. Ralph 46 years old and Torsten 36. You're going to get cover? No,
nope.
That didn't work out.
Not at all. So let's see what the Indonesian partnership can do with this. And it's going to be USCHAN to take the first shot. He's a pretty experienced player, isn't he?
Oh, there's some quality talent here. These guys are well-traveled, Great player, Ursal. Now, they're going for this orange 5 ball.
Extension call.
The next shot is the green 6. So how do they get position for that green 6? That's what they're discussing right now.
Yeah, and after the 6, they've got to get position on that brown 7, which is at the far end of the table. So there's a bit of ping pong to be played here. One step at a time.
They opt for a safety
yeah,
shot.
For safety.
Oh no, that was a two-way shot. Actually, it was a cross-table bank. As you can see, he was hoping to get safe if it didn't go in. That was a very nice effort right there to get position on the green 6 and the possible pot. So now, Suke, the Hall of Famer, the long cut shot on the 5. Oh, and that one is definitely on. But it'll be a bit of awkward cueing for Mohamed Bewi. Actually, he's got another sort of nickname. It's a lot easier to say. Mohamed Bewi, B-E-W-I.
Yeah, that's easier than Siman Juntak, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever his name is, he's dealt very nicely with that. Now, what's he going to get off the back end of it? And that's not quite so good.
But this shot, delicate roll down the bottom rail there, but will allow Ursal to bring the cue ball back for. Oh no, he looks like he's going to go.
Yeah, he's heading
safe
for the hills, isn't he?
Just distance.
Distance, and he wants that black covering ball as well, and I think he's got both.
Well, it's all about percentages for players. That's a low percentage shot to run that down the rail, so much better to play safe. Thorsten will bring it off the rail to kick at it.
Managed to keep the cue ball up, and where's that green going to go? Where does it end? Where does it stop?
Not sure, Ken.
Yeah, does that 9 ball obscure?
I think you can see that, but the cueing's a bit awkward.
Yeah, cueing out of the pocket, isn't he? Well, he should be able to get this, Bowie.
Looks like he's going to swerve it just a bit like that. And that is a very nice shot. There's still a little more work to do for Indonesia. Germany won the lag. Watch out. He got away with that.
Yeah, he did.
That was a little bit little hairy there.
Yeah, that had problems looming all over it, but as you say, he got away with it. And it looks like the underdogs are going to draw first blood here, assuming Albin OUSCHAN can dispatch this 9 ball.
He does. Nicely done by Indonesia. A little bit of a safety battle. They come out on top and they lead Germany 1-0 here in the Dafabet World Cup of Pool. And there you see the history of Indonesia in this tournament. The best result they've had in 2010. A quarterfinals appearance against China, which they lost 9-3. And it's been all misery for Indonesia.
With a couple of shutouts as well. 2006 and 2013. Well, they've managed to avoid that already. This would be a notable scalp if they could take the former champions and the highly rated Germans down. Long way to go, of course.
Mohamed Bewi to do the honors on the break. There you see a good job of getting the cue ball more towards the center of the table. Now, does he have a shot? Yes, there is a shot on the one. You know, Nick, it's not always about just who's the most talented team on paper. It does take time, even for the best players, to get used to the conditions on this arena table. This is their first match out. Oh, he messed that up.
Got that one all wrong, didn't he? Well, you heard Jim White talking about that earlier, Ted, and I'm sure you've spoken to some of the players as well. I mean, the message is coming back as we take another look at this miss, loud and clear, that you've got to get used to the pace of this surface.
You just got to get used to not only that, but just the environment, the setup of the tournament. It's a Scotch doubles. You've got cameras all around you. You've got this terrific venue here. They know that there are people watching around the world. It's a big-time stage for pool players. I mean, in every tournament, Nick, always the first match out is the toughest.
Well, you guaranteed that there would be upsets in this first round, upsets plural. You've been proved right in the first 3 matches. And there might be 1 or 2 more seeds biting the dust before we reach the second round.
Well, here's a good chance for Indonesia to put a little daylight between them and the Germans.
Now, Nasution was the one that missed pretty badly on the yellow one. So let's see if he can get his eye back in here. That wasn't a good shot. Got away with it. They still have an extension available in this rack. Nasution just glanced behind just to confirm that, because he may need it, and he has indeed called for it.
That's a nice touch right there. I love this York Hall venue. You can hear the creaky floorboards as they walk around. There's like 100 years of history in all that noise.
Yeah, and the rest. This goes back to Victorian times. Nicely played. You know your boxing as well, Ted. A major boxing venue. But it has hosted 9-ball before.
Well, Nick, I know you call a lot of boxing, and I don't think anybody's going to be spilling any drinks on you tonight.
Not tonight.
Maybe tomorrow.
It's a little bit quieter than it is normally for boxing in here. That's for sure. And it's good to hear that there is no noise, that these players are being given the respect that they need. And meanwhile, very quietly, Indonesia are putting together a pretty good rack here.
See, this is what we're talking about. What's important is who can get the feel of the table and in the environment first. And Indonesia is looking very good at the moment.